Hey you good people, welcome back to my channel The Nature and the Wild. So today what we're going to do, a lot of people was asking me questions, how your images get so sharp and there was no noise at all, but that's not true. My every image has lot of noise because when I take the picture, either it is early in the morning or it is most of the time in the evening when the lighting conditions are not really good as a for wildlife photography. So in that scenario, what's gonna happen? So I will show you two images taken two different timestamps, one in the morning and one is in the evening, and I will show you the file information, the raw file information just direct out of the camera. And then we will import these two images into Lightroom and we'll do some post-processing basic editing, and then we will denoise those images to get our final image. So this is very important, so guys stay tuned with me till the end and you will definitely get a lot of answers. So one point, the start point, I'm very happy with my camera with Canon R7. I'm pairing it with the RF 500, which is a 7.1 max aperture zoom lens, and they are a deadly combinations for our wildlife photography, and very nice, neat and clean images, sharp images you can get with them. So let's start. If you see on my screen, there are two images. Okay, so the first image, if I show you, here is the image information. This first image, the composition, the sun is directly falling on his head, his feathers, they are a little bit overexposed, you know. And if you see the background is quite darker. And of course, it's very nicely isolated from it. And some of the dark spots, they are quite noisy. Some places a little bit light. You know why this has happened? Because when the bird's sitting on the porch and the light was directly on the subject, but the background was quite dark. There was no sunlight at all because of the trees. So when you are in a height, these kind of situations are very normal out there. So if I show you the specs, this photo was taken by Canon EOS R7 on my right hand corner, if you see, and it was at 300 mm, not even I was 500 mm because I was very close to the bird, and I took it at 5.6 aperture 1/1600 seconds, so which is really high because when I took this image just before that the bird was trying to sit on the porch and I wanted to capture it, so I keep my shutter speed higher to freeze that motion. And then the ISO is 1250, if you can see. So 1250 is a very acceptable ISO level with the camera like Canon EOS R7. And now we will import this image into the Lightroom and we'll see how that will perform there. Let's go to the second image. If I show you the second image, this image, let me get the file info for you. Okay, this image was taken in the evening, somewhere around 6 p.m. I guess. If you see the outside, there are a lot of grain, noise, the background. Although the light was little bit there on the face of the squirrel. This is basically a red squirrel, very common in Europe. And if you see the backgrounds, they are quite noisy, the dark spaces. But one thing is very commendable, that you get really isolated subject from the background, and the bokeh effect is really nice with this lens. And the info is again, it's completely 500 mm at a wide aperture 7.1 at 1250 second. They are quite notorious and dynamic animal. And then look at the ISO, it is 8000. So at 8000 you get that kind of noise in a raw image. And definitely when we shoot we do the photography, we shoot birds or animal, we always put our camera into raw mode. And when you put it into the raw mode, then it gives you more flexibility to play with the highlights, to play with the white balances, colors, you know, shadows. So it's open new door and new opportunities for the picture editing, you know. So that's really great. That's why I always shoot in the raw. Let's first edit the bird image. It's a Eurasian browser. Lightroom always show you the correct exposure and the exact images. You might see histogram, it shows little bit. If you go to the histogram, it is more on the left side, which is like more white blows and overexposed, and if it is in the middle, that means it's properly exposed, and if it is in the more right, then it is more darker, it is underexposed. So let's try. I'm not going to crop this image anymore because this is properly centered, and I like how the image is, the composition is completely right. So what we're gonna do first, and we're going to adjust the background first, and then we will adjust the subject. This is how I always try to edit my images, because when I adjust the background first, edit it, and then it's give me quite good aspect what I'm gonna do with my subject. So let's select the masking, and I select background. By the way, nowadays the editing pictures are quite very easy. It doesn't take hours like before in the Photoshop. And I see this image is quietly masked, the background. Still, I will take the subtract brush, and I will just subtract some places from the bird. I don't want them to be masked. Great, I will do them later. Great. Okay, perfect. Now let's adjust the background. What we're gonna do, how I like my image should be more isolated, and it should be more appealing and more catchy. So I'm going to little bit darken the background, and not that much. This is nice. Let's change the color a little bit. It's too green. Maybe something more. Yeah, this is absolutely nice. Give me the texture. I'm not gonna play a lot of pointers here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make it more dreamy. So I'm going to take down the texture and clarity down. So when I take down the texture and clarity both down, it give me more creamy effect, more blurry. And the sharpness, I don't want anything to be look more sharp in the background. So this is pretty much very easy. I don't do much things, and I turn the noise on. So you see, I think I need a little bit more here. Let's see what is happening with his. Yeah, it's also masked here. So let's remove the background mask from here on his beak. Perfect. And so it needs a little bit patience every time. Now our work is done. Let's check the whole bird if everything is properly masked. Yes, absolutely great. Okay, let's go back, and now select the subject. If I select the subject, perfecto. First thing first, I always do what? I take out the highlights. When I have an overexposed image, I do that. So look, it was here, and the moment you take the highlights off, look how much changes came into the picture. It's changed completely. So you don't need to do a lot of stuff with your image. You know, if you take if your image looks good inside the camera, it will always look good outside the camera. So now I'm going to take a little bit shadows off, because I want it like this, and let's give it a color adjustment little. Very good. I will keep it texture a little bit high, make it little clear, and I will get the sharpness a little bit out here. So look at the image, how it looks. And I always do one more thing. I always get another separate mask for the eyes. So I will only select the eye. I will take the shadows a little bit off on the eye, make it a little bit darker. Nice. Change the color, and I will change the eye texture and take the sharp. So this image is ready. We don't need to do any more changes on that. Now people who use the Lightroom, they already knows in the Lightroom there is a very good option that's called denoise. This is the new AI denoise of Lightroom here, and I'm going to do the denoise. It's gonna take some time, so we will let it done and come back to the video. So when you hit the denoise, always remember you can do the denoise before editing or after editing, but I like to do it after editing because it keeps all of my editing parameters sharp, you know. So I will do the denoise. It's loading the data, takes some time. Great. So let it render. There is a very important thing. When you do the denoise, you can see the denoise is by default at 50%, so it will only apply 50% of the denoising. You can keep it down and keep it more, so according to you, but I think 50% always works better for everything. And you can also keep it like 40%, 33%. So but if you keep for 50% system default, that is absolutely perfect. And then it will show you that estimated time remaining is 4 minutes. It will take 4 minutes to denoise the whole images. So, and you will click on enhance. So once you've done start, you can see here in the corner creating DNG using a denoise. So denoise will create a separate image, and that image it will save on the same place where your raw image is. And once you see the raw DNG image, you can use it later to edit again, you know. So this is quite good. So let's wait till this image get denoised, and then we compare the previous image and the new image, which will be exported as a JPEG, and we will see how it works. Pretty faster it went. So if you see, it's done. Here we back with the image. Look quite sharp, everything is enhanced, there is no noise, nothing, the background is perfectly fine, the image is looking good. So perfect. So the final adjustment, I'm going to do little bit clarity so the image can stand out, and let's see, look, now it looks perfectly fine. Little dark and shady mode, absolutely great. Let's export that image. I will export it. When you export, it asks you a lot of questions, and not questions, basically these are the options you can select. I have already selected them, and it is default. Once you set them up, it will always like this. And then I put my signature, my watermark, I put sign black and export. It will ask you where to export. Let me put it in the same folder, and the export takes around about 2 to 3 seconds, 5 seconds max, and it's done. If I keep both the images side by side, let me just make it a little bit bigger for you. This is your raw file, the exact raw file out of the camera, and this is the post-process image. So if you take these two images and if you compare them, you can easily see these images are really outstanding. At 1250, the noise, we are having this grain, these areas, and here little bit adjustment, the overexposed part of the bird, and here everything has been edited perfectly. So, and of course everybody has their own taste in the editing, so this is how I like my images little bit. When I shot any bird of prey kind of birds, and I try to give them a little bit darkest mode, and which I really like, my personal touch. So this is how this image look. Please let me know, put your comment in the comment box about this image. Let's move to the second image and see how that looks after the editing. This image has a lot of noise, and if I try to edit it now, okay, so again the same principle how I do that basically, but here also we can do one more thing. Let's select the background first. This looks perfectly fine, you see how sharp the image looks inside this on the video. So I will put those both the images in the video. You can also see how it come out after the final process. Let's export these images. Same way, export. So guys, you can see both the images side by side, the raw image out of the camera and the JPEG exported from the Lightroom after the editing, and both the images look quite different. And here you see a lot of noise, the background, and the face of the squirrel is quite overexposed, and here it's nicely underexposed, and the background is quite creamy. The noise is gone. It looks more sharper than the raw image. The colors are more vibrant. So this is, I hope you like my today's video. Please post your comments and questions in the comment box. I will definitely get back to you. And thanks for all the support so far, and let me know what else you want to know. And definitely the Canon EOS R7 and RF 100-500 works perfectly fine in every conditions, and little bit of the noises you can always eliminate into the post processing to get the nice and sharp images. Please.